Today, we take a look at the all-new Wahoo Elemnt Bolt version 2. We look at some of the key differences between the previous model as well as some of the new features and if this model is right for you. Stay tuned. Wahoo's been at the forefront of cycling technology for many years, and their original Elemnt Bolt was such a hit, people were speculating how much of a hit the second version could be. They've done great customer outreach, going to many events and educating customers on some of their new features, and I was lucky enough to grab one of my own. So as we unbox this first Elemnt Bolt version 2, it comes in a slick package. It slides out quite easily, and the first thing you notice, it has a color display, albeit a faux color display when you open it with a sticker. When you open the main package, you have a couple of neat features that come with it that were some smart additions. It comes with obviously a mount for your handlebars if your handlebars fit that. Mine don't, so I had to get a different one, more on that later. Then it comes with a stem mount if you want to use that. A USB-C charger cable, some zip ties so you can attach it pretty much anywhere on your bike, hopefully the cockpit, and of course some product information, literature that you can just kind of use for reference. I would say that the majority of stuff you can find about user guides is pretty much online or on YouTube or Google. Once that is all away, we get to looking at the unit itself. It does have a rubber seal on it, which makes it weather resistant, not waterproof. Always satisfying peeling that original piece of plastic off to reveal a very smooth, very nice screen, and the button configuration is pretty much the same as the previous version. It has the startup power button on the left as well as the menu buttons on the right. On the unit itself on the front, it has a bigger Wahoo logo compared to the previous where it just said Elemnt Bolt on it. And then comparing side by side with the old unit, it is a little bit longer in length, but about the same width. When you compare the two together, the previous generation uses a micro USB. That is one of the biggest key differences when charging, and the new one is a USB-C. The 3-button configuration, of course, is the same as the previous one, except the buttons are convex on the new one compared to concave on the old one. The old one weighs about 61 grams, and the new one is right at 69. Now, looking at the tabs, it looks almost identical, but it is slightly different. In fact, the old mounts are not compatible with the new computer. It is, but it's a very tight fit. I wouldn't recommend that for longevity, as the tabs could wear over time. It is plastic after all. But you can't take an old computer and put it on a new mount. It just won't fit. More on that later. As you can see though, the access port is pretty much the same style of plastic that it's used, and it's done well in weather, rain, snow, mud, cyclocross, you name it. Now, when booting it up for the first time, there's a bit of a setup process, but it's really easy and simple to follow. Obviously, you press the button on the left-hand side, the little light goes on, and then it tells you that the Elemnt Bolt is booting up. Once it does for the very first time, it'll actually bring up a QR code, so please have your phones handy. Now you'll need that QR code and then your phone to scan it, and then you go into the app and then add new device. It scans it really fast, and then it guides you through the setup process. As you can see, it automatically authenticates Strava along with your other apps associated with this head unit. You can go ahead and pair your phone, set up Bluetooth, allow notifications. I use Training Peaks as well. So it authenticates all your workouts. And then of course, you always want to keep your Wahoo Elemnt Bolt updated with the latest firmware. And then that is the default menu page, but you can customize it any way you want to. I always keep my wattage at the very, very top, and that's the biggest number I see. All of this can be updated through the app. This is the old Elemnt Bolt on my Cannondale System 6 bike. As you can see, it's very flush, pretty aerodynamic, and very minimal. Now, when you take the new computer onto the old mount, it will fit, but again, it is a bit delicate. So I had to remove the old mount and then place on a new mount, even though they pretty much look identical. They make different mounts for each versions of these computers. Now, this is not Cannondale's mounting system. This is actually a company in the UK called Raceware, which makes 3D printed mounts for just about every computer you can think of on any bike you can think of. Here are the two side by side. And as you can see, the mounts look almost identical, just with some slight key differences in where the tabs fit the mount itself. All it takes is a 5mm Allen key and 2 bolts to undermount it on the cockpit. You are good to go. As you can see, you can take the older computer and it will not mount on the new mount. It does feel like it can fit in there, but do not force it. There's a gap between the base of the tab and the mount. So just wanted to show you that. You can plug it in. Once you plug it in right away, you can always top it off. That light turns on, it boots up, and then it shows you a nice battery indicator inside. Once it boots up, I can actually sync the Wahoo with my Training Peaks workouts. So for example, today I have my workout selected on there. I hit select and then I go ahead and start it. Looks like I have a 3-hour easy day. And what's cool about the color screen, 64 different colors, is that the colors show you whether you're within a certain range of wattage that you need to be. Gray if you're off, blue if you're in. After you do that, you can then look at some of your other features on the Wahoo, such as the maps, which gives some great detail. You can zoom in and out as much as you need to. Plus it has a compass on there. In terms of connectivity, it is ANT+, Bluetooth, and wireless compatible, and of course compatible with any Apple or Android iOS services. This has an accelerometer as well as a built-in barometric altimeter in it. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then in terms of memory, it's 16 gigs of memory in this tiny little device. Overall, the retail price in it, brand new, is $299, but I can only speculate that the price will come down over time, but that does pack a lot of punch in this tiny little unit. Now, if you're going to go out on more unfamiliar territory, you're at the mercy of the GPS strength, but at the same time, you can map your location pretty much in real time and see where you are in case you ever get lost. This device, in my opinion, is much more of a computer compared to the older Elemnt Bolt. Even though I love this and I've had this for years, I think this one is going to last me a long time. So if you use a head unit on your bike, what do you use? How do you like it? Let us know in the comments. But until next time, stay Veloworthy.